It's Duncan again from Waste Window Cleaning, and today we want to kick off a little series on our YouTube channel regarding health and well-being as a window cleaner. So what's on today's episode? Stay tuned. So what's in episode 1 of this series, Health and Wellbeing as a Window Cleaner? Today we're going to talk about the importance of getting a regular medical checkup from your doctor. Later in this series we'll discuss diet, we'll discuss how you use your equipment and the impact that has, and we'll also think about hobbies and things that can just get us distracted from the everyday humdrum of running our business. So let's get into the first one, that is getting a checkup. Now, why is that important? As we age, and I'm in my late 50s, it's important to just know how you're doing physically. And every year I go and see my doctor. We get a blood test from a local pathology unit. The doctor then analyses the results of that blood test and lets me know where there's any difficulties or situations that I need to work on. So what do they test? Well, they look at my thyroid and kidney function. They look at general heart health. Every so often I'll also get an ECG where they put all the monitors on all over you to see whether there's any irregularities with your heart and how it beats. A few years ago, I also took what's called a stress test, and that they put you on a treadmill and just see how you go with that physical activity, that intense physical activity, and how your heart works with that. Through my blood test, I also check things to do with cholesterol, because there's good cholesterol, there's bad cholesterol, so what the levels are of those. I have my PSA checked. Now, what's that? Well, the PSA is the indicator in your blood test that highlights whether you're at risk of prostate cancer. It's important for men to have that checked regularly, and men in their 50s are particularly vulnerable to prostate cancer. I lost an uncle when he was in his 50s to prostate cancer. There's a history in my family. It's worth me getting that checked regularly. So other things that are in the blood test are your iron levels, your glucose levels, and all of those numbers are really important. And when you see the doctor, they will give you a printout so that you can keep a record of just how your health is. How was it last year? How was it the year before that? And that will really give you a handle on where you're at with your physical health, what's going on inside while you're trying to run your show. So recently I had my blood test, and depending on your age, there is a range where those different categories should fall to show that you're doing well. If you're below or above alarm bells, doctor will call you, hey, Duncan, come in for a chat, there's some problems. Thankfully, in my last few blood tests, everything's within the numbers. Everything's within the range it should be for someone my age, my late 50s. So that's really pleasing. Another thing that I've done recently, because of the risk of prostate cancer in 50s, is while discussing those numbers, I also asked the doctor to do a DRE, a digital rectum examination. Yes, it's as horrible as it sounds. But that's where they actually physically check the size of your prostate to see whether there's any risk, whether there's any enlargement evident there. Sometimes the PSA in the blood test doesn't show the indicators as it should. So it's worthwhile getting both tests done. Now, they're uncomfortable. It takes time, but it's important to get those things checked on a regular basis. It's meant that over the years I've been able to monitor and see what areas I need to tweak with regard to diet, exercise, and things of that nature. So how do you feel about that? Do you think it's worthwhile? It really is, because that way you get a clear picture of what your physical condition is, what all the chemicals are doing inside you, what your blood's doing inside you, all the other bits and pieces, and you can see what things you need to change or what things you just leave as they are. Excuse me. And that gives you a real confidence in your health condition. So that's a really important start. Now, what if the doctor says your numbers need looking at? What if you got high cholesterol and the bad cholesterol reading? What about if your iron levels are too low? What about, you see, those things may come up. Are you prepared to make some adjustments? So that's the first step in checking your well-being and getting your physical health checked up. I really strongly urge you to go to see a doctor as soon as, and book it in for that test. Book that in so that you can really be sure of what your situation is. And then you can act on the various aspects of life that you need to change. So in our next video, we're going to discuss diet. Over the years, I've constantly made some adjustments to the things I've eaten, and I'll share some of those with you. I'll add this caveat: I'm not a medical practitioner, so what I talk about will simply be anecdotal, what's worked for me. You need to do the research. You need to do the research with your physical checkup, talk to your doctor. You need to do the research in the things that we talk about in the future. So I hope this has given you some motivation to really get going and take control, be proactive with your heart health. My doctor is really thrilled that my wife and I are so proactive, and it's a lovely feeling to go into the doctor. She looks at your numbers and says, Duncan, everything's looking great. I'm not on any medication to look after my health. So that's because of the efforts I've made in seeing my doctor on a regular basis and making necessary adjustments. So we'll talk about diet in our next video. If you think this video is worthwhile for someone else, not just yourself, please share it. Spread the word. I'd love to hear from you. So here's my social media handle there, both on Facebook and Instagram. And if you'd like to share some thoughts, you can direct message me or leave some thoughts down below here on this YouTube video here on our channel at McRae's Window Cleaning. Hope you have a great day. Take care of that physical being. Take care of your health, and make sure you enjoy the days ahead. We'll see you soon. Bye.